As soon as the assemblyman and his two-man team spotted the deceased with sidearm, they accosted him without giving him the opportunity to identify himself. By this time, message had spread that an armed robber had been seen, and so other people had come around wielding all forms of implements and started attacking the deceased. While the deceased was thus being attacked, he made efforts to explain his identity, while at the same time attempting to flee from his attackers. Now, police investigations have established the following. The deceased jumped onto different motorbikes in an attempt to escape the attack, but to no avail. He also attempted to escape by jumping onto a tipper truck by entering through the passenger side, but the attackers fired and shattered the windscreen, causing him to fall off. There were also sporadic shooting from the attackers. The attackers used implements including clubs, cement blocks, and machetes. He was finally killed at about 10 a.m. These findings indicate that the deceased left his base at about 8 a.m. on Monday, May 29, 2017, and was killed at about 10 a.m. of same day. Police action taken so far include the arrest of 16 suspects, 7 out of whom have been remanded by the court to police custody, and the rest to be presented in court on Monday, 5 June 2017, together with any other suspects that may be arrested in the course of the weekend. The 7 who have been remanded are William Barr, the Assemblyman, Bismarck Donko, Philip Bedu, Kofi Nyame, Anthony Amwa, Kofi Bedu, and Yao Ano. The other arrested persons are as stated below. Some were attempting to escape arrest to other places and were intercepted, while others were arrested from other places across the country, including as far as Sunyani. They are Dolly Komla, Dome Francis, Sonu Mwanyo, Sonu Emmanuel, Ernest Ali, Kojo Mfum, Kwesi Boa, Issa Menu, and Prince Amponsa. We have collected a number of evidence which have either been processed or are being processed according to due process. Our investigations are focused on identifying all persons whose actions caused the death of the deceased, to find out what specific actions were taken by each individual and how the actions are linked to the killing, as well as the intent of the actions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director General CID. As per the convention of events like this, we have question time by the media, and as you know already, your questions should be as brief as possible. Don't ask so many double-barreled questions. And introduce yourself briefly and then go on to your question. So the floor is opened. The first batch of 3 we shall take, and then proceed. If you are ready, we are ready. Come forward. Come forward.
My name is Berima Kwebu Sarba. I work with Atingham FM. And yesterday, I happened to be part of the by the Ghana Armed Forces yesterday. and I witnessed the temper, if I can use that word, and the euphoria around. One thing I gathered, which was open and was recorded, was that we don't trust the police in terms of their investigations. And what they said in addition was that there have been many other things that has happened, including murder situations, and yet there has not been any answer to it or any better results. So they were even expecting to do their own investigation through the military police. It was answered anyway, but yet the question is, now we are in the police, what is the assurance? My boss has spoken, but this time round, we all know the best have risen. What is the assurance the police going to give this very one and subsequent ones a prominence so that we can move on as a country? Most grateful.
Next.
I'm Frank Kantibo from Kasafa FM. What I want to know is, in areas like this, when leaders are detached to such areas, be it headmaster, be it a police commander, or whoever, and that person is normally introduced to the assemblyman of the place and the chiefs. Was this not done in the case of Captain?
Next.
I'm Sarah Fidulapo from JoyNews TV. I just wanted to know if the police is well resourced to make sure that innocent civilians who happen to be around the town are well protected during these investigations. Thank you.
My name is Freeman with Joy FM. And my question has to do with the fact that we've seen other cases that have happened, and the end game was that there was not enough evidence to actually establish a prosecution of sorts. What sort of evidence is the Ghana police going for in this case? Not just videos. What sort of hardcore evidence is going to be gathered so that these people can be prosecuted? And then amongst the 16 that was mentioned, we saw women in the pictures involved in this. Has there been any arrest on women? What do we know about that? The woman who was allegedly holding a match or so, or very close to the body. Updates on that, please.
That is it for the first round. Hold on, madam. Hold your fire. Sir, we are ready for your responses, sir.
Thank you very much for your question. For one question from Atinka. Yes. The people of this country, through Parliament, have enacted laws, and then those laws are supposed to be enforced. And the police service has been mandated to champion the enforcement of these laws. And the object of the Ghana Police Service is to protect life and property, to investigate cases, and then bring offenders to book. We are supposed to maintain law and order in this country and also prosecute the offenders. This is the mandate of the Ghana Police Service. And we have been in existence from time immemorial. It has been our work, and we have maintained the law and order in this country up to this time. Let me mention that if you have an unsolved crime, it does not mean that the police did not do their work. You must know that in investigations, you follow every lead to its logical conclusion. In the process, you get to arrest the perpetrator. Or sometimes the perpetrator may even die before the end of the investigation. It does not mean that it is not a good investigation. So if somebody says they do not have confidence in the Ghana Police Service for any unsolved crime, that is not correct. You can go to other countries, advanced countries, they have many unsolved crimes. But that is not to say they are unable to investigate cases and bring perpetrators to book. We have done it. We have attested to that. And I hope that if you want records, you can consult to find out the truth. Thank you. Yes, the introduction of the army officers to local assemblymen and others, I hope that CDS or the Major General Bompipra may answer that question.
Thank you, IGP. Let me begin by thanking the IGP for inviting me to this very important press conference. So to him, to members of the management board, and then your members of your staff, and of course, distinguished members of the media, I say thank you for this opportunity. Let me begin by saying that having listened attentively to the address by the IGP and also by the Director General CID, I believe that one critical concern of my soldiers is being addressed. Yesterday I held a deba, and the issue is the speedy investigation and prosecution of those who carried out this dastardly act. I gave assurance that a high-powered team has been sent to the incident area. And I'm happy to hear from the Director General, CID, and also from the IGP that indeed they are making progress, and as at now, 16 persons have been apprehended, and they are still on it. We look forward to a speedy investigation so that those who are found culpable face the full rigors of the law. Because justice delayed is justice denied. Speaking specifically to the question raised, I wish to say that our troops were deployed in Diasso, which, from the account of the Director General CID, is quite a distance from Denchroboase, close to about 15 kilometers. So the base camp of the troops is Diasso. And having been there for only 3 weeks, please remember that Captain Maxwell Bahama was on relieving duties, and he had been in that location for about 3 weeks. During that period, it's part of our routine that you would have seen the opinion leaders of that place, the chiefs, the assemblymen, etc. Where the incident took place was quite distant. I have no doubt that he was in the process of familiarizing himself with his environment. But within 3 weeks, he couldn't have covered possibly all people who needed to be seen, particularly those beyond his immediate area where he was based. So yes, he had seen those who needed to be seen, particularly at the base camp, and was still exploring the environment. So that is my answer to that question. Thank you.
So those are some updates from the police headquarters, and we heard from the Director General. He gave us some updates, some we didn't know, some we know already. He says the deceased jumped on different motorbikes and to escape the brutality, but was to no avail. He says 16 suspects are in police custody. 7 have been remanded, including the assemblyman. Now, we heard some of the media personnel around asking questions. One of the assurance the IGP gives is that we must be confident in the police to do the job. He says, yes, there are some unresolved issues, but that doesn't give a straightjacket answer to the fact that we should lose confidence in police. He says the police will do all it can to bring this issue and bring all the people who perpetrated this act to bear, and they will all be brought to book, and also they will be punished for committing those crimes. He's also saying that the soldier died whilst exploring his environment. He had just been deployed to that area about 3 weeks ago, and he was just trying to familiarize himself with the area. Let's go back to the headquarters. The Director General is answering some questions.
Are not harassed. Thank you.
You say a woman is not arrested.
Yeah, and then you talked about a woman not arrested. Let me state here that the town is almost deserted. When we went there, we saw only 3 women, a nursing mother, and of course an old lady who was ill, and so they could not flee the town. But almost everyone in the town is gone into hiding. There is, if you look into the videos and the pictures that have come in the public domain, you see a woman pouring. I think that you made mention of that. You see a woman either taking pictures or pouring something onto the body. That woman has been identified. She's being looked for, as well as many other women who have been mentioned to us. We have a whole list of perpetrators or suspects that we are looking for. And at the appropriate time when we get them, we will let the public know. Thank you.
Okay, the next part of 3.
I think there is a 4th one.
If there's somebody who hasn't taken the question at all, before let the person know
There is
first,
a 4th one.
before you do follow-ups.
TV Africa. It seems false alarms are quick and are becoming a fast tradition in this country. So we want to know what the Ghana Police Service have done so far and is doing to curb that menace. Thank you.
My name is Godra Demensa. I work for Ghana News Agency. There are arguments that a captain of the military, when he is going out for jogging, at least he should have gone out with some of his subordinates. So I want to find out whether it is proper for him to have gone out alone. Thank you.
One part of my question wasn't addressed, so I just want to bring it back. It has to do with the evidence that is being collected in order for a prosecution to be sustained. I'm saying that we saw in the videos people who were involved. Ghanaians want to know what would be the scope of those who would consider as being, corporate or accessories to this murder. Is it those who were taking pictures? Is it those who were picking stones? Is it those who were dragging on the ground? We saw many people, so that at the end of the day, we can know that the Ghana police went in for a specific sort of evidence. And based on that evidence, they were able to prosecute X number of people. So that it won't come out after this entire piece that we only got 2 people, and that's because we know or we saw them killing. What would be the evidence that you would use to determine whether person X was part of the killing or not?
My name is Prince. I work with UT. Now, there has been some allegations made by the SAC DC that Captain and his men were protecting an illegal site, an illegal mining site. We want to know how true that is.
Thank you. My name is Rashid. I work for Rainbow Radio. Per the investigations and evidence gathered so far, have the police identified any minor as part of the perpetrators? And if you have done that, how are you going to treat these minors who were part of the incident? Secondly, I want to also find out if indeed the late Captain Mahama was burnt as per media reports. Thank you very much.
My name is Mary Mensah. I write for the Daily Graphic. My worry is with the woman, the trader, who sold the snails to the captain. To me, the whole thing started from her. What have you done so far to track that woman? Secondly, there is the perception that the crime rate in the country has gone up. What is the true situation in the country now?
Okay, my name is Mark Byron with UTV. I want to find out whether the lack of police intelligence on the crime situation in the town was, from news gathered, we understand that the crime situation in the Diasu area is very rampant. What was the intelligence by the police to intensify the patrols within the area to ensure that such things, they could have nipped this thing in the bud if the intelligence in the area was that up to scratch, and police patrols was intensified. Thank you.
This is a barrage of questions, about 5 in 1, and I hand over to our dignitaries at the head table once again to address them.
Yes. Thank you very much. With the first question of false alarms, what are we doing to stem it? Let me say that we are living in an era of digital information, and everything is anonymous. It is very, very difficult to control. We do not have control over it. To stop somebody from sending a WhatsApp image to another person, it must be global. And I must say that in this digital world, what we have, all the applications have a double-edged sword. It is what we can only do is to urge the public to be circumspect and also, try not to create panic situations in our society. So I'm sure you've heard, I think the CDS has mentioned it, some other speakers from another fora have also said the same thing. What we can do is that we can trace to somebody by the number of information coming from all over the place. I don't think we have the capacity to stop this kind of information from going out. We can only urge you to know that other people are affected adversely when these messages have gone out. I want to take one of the questions before I hand it over to my other colleagues here, and that is the true crime situation in the country. That is the perception. Annually, we do produce crime reports, and which is a public document. Everyone has access to it. So you can go there and look at all crimes and see the statistics. We are just in the middle of the year, and therefore we cannot mention the total number of crimes that have been committed. Let's take, for example, robbery in this year. But if we compare, let's say in 2013, 2014, 15, 16, and 17, from January to May, then we can do that comparison. And to disabuse people's minds from this perception that the crime rate is on the ascendancy, our statistics show, for example, robbery, the same period, 2013, was 478. 2014, 489. It was going up. 2015, 513. 2016, 538. 2017, 484. So if somebody would say that there's armed robbery everywhere, not backed by any figures or statistics, it is wrong. And I hope that the people of this country should know that crime is being managed. We are doing well, but we're going to do better than we are doing now. Thank you.
I think two issues are of interest to the military. The first one, the captain being out alone, as you put it. And then secondly, whether he was an unauthorized operation. Well, regarding him going out alone, is part of the subject of the inquiry that is being carried out. But let me say, from what I know about the routine in camps, it should have been the routine for him to have had somebody. But we want to investigate, so I cannot put a direct answer to that. Regarding the question of whether he was on an unauthorized operation, I've answered this question before. I was at the Army headquarters when this operation started. And the 2nd Battalion of Infantry was tasked to undertake it. The officer is from 5 Battalion, and the reason why he was in that area of operation is because he had been detailed to relieve somebody else who had to write promotion exams. That is why he was there. So he was carrying on a task that had been assigned to the unit, and therefore High Command was aware. It was not an illegal operation. I think these answers the two questions that refer to the military. Thank you.
I think Mary's question also was on the trader who might have given the information to the assemblyman leading to what happened on that Monday. We have the identity of the woman who sold the snails to Captain Adam. Unfortunately, when we went there yesterday, we did not see any woman selling by the roadside. I think, as I said, everyone has gone into hiding. And so she has also, I believe, gone into hiding. But as I've indicated, we have her identity, we have her name, and we are in the process of tracking her down. She does not sell alone. There are other women. We are not sure that it was she that gave out the information, but through our investigation, we will be able to establish who actually did that. But the one who sold the snail to the captain is known, and we are doing our utmost to track her down. Now, there was another question about Diasu area being a crime-prone area. In fact, I must admit that the area has suffered a number of robbery activities. And I think the reason is not far-fetched. That area is a mining area, just like some other areas in central Ghana, central region. And so I think the criminals believe that it's an area, let's say, pregnant with cheap money. And so that is why they decide maybe to operate there. People are reaping a lot from these galamsey activities. But patrols are going on in this area. The problem is that they don't have enough vehicles to patrol that one stretch of road up to Bogosu, I am free and so on and so forth. That is why we still have these incidents of robbery occurring. But the police in that area are doing their best. Thank you.
Yes. Somebody wanted to know the kind of evidence that we have gathered in order to prosecute these because you have all seen in the video that somebody was holding a stone, some machete, and other things. In order to do investigations and then get a prosecution, a successful prosecution of the case that leads to conviction, we require two things, and that is people and things. People will go to stand in the dock and give evidence, but the things, they don't speak. But sometimes they have more evidence in them than even the person who gets flustered at certain times in the dock. But I will end here, because I should not tell you that this is the evidence that we have, which belong to a perpetrator hiding somewhere, or to go and then maybe deface some other evidence so we cannot connect. It is not our duty to divulge, but we do that when we go to court with our evidence to prosecute. Thank you. We have some more questions on this.
There was also another question about the body. To set the body ablaze. But as I said, he died around 10 a.m. and the first police responded arrived at 10:30. We are not very certain that the death time was 10 o'clock, but around that time. But the police arrived, Dominasi police arrived at 10:30 to inspect and pick the body. So I think it is because of the prompt response from the police. That is why we got the body intact. We have not identified any minors in the case yet, but we are investigating, we are on course, and anything can happen. And if it happens, they will be handled the way minors are handled. Thank you.
Last two.
Please, my name is Ohinebenya from ATV. My question is, what measures are you going to put in place to protect other officers in such areas? Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Nanando, and I work with Destiny Radio International, Ghana and the UK. So as it stands now, you have made us understand that everybody in this village we are talking about is almost fled. So we want to understand to what extent will this mass sudden migration of these people affect your investigations going forward?
Thank you very much. My name is Anas Seidu. I report for CTFM. I want to find out, we are not praying for something of this sort to happen again, but we know definitely something of that sort it will happen. We know cases will happen like this. The security service, do you have plans of giving us quick and coordinated information so that we don't report differently as media houses at a particular point when something of this happens, so that there will be a coordinated way of you giving us information of what happened and when it happened, so that we will give accurate information to the public? And what's your plan for protecting media men who will be covering such programs? Thank you.
I think that's about the last question you are taking. You have had your main question and then follow up. Okay. Okay, for the sake of the event, I'll give you the opportunity.
So IGP, we know that one body was found after the incident, and there's been questions about whether it was gunshot or it was a stab wound, etc. What do we know about this person who unfortunately lost their life?
The question is directed at the IGP, but I would like the Director General CID, who is in charge of the investigations, to respond to.
The question is about body. The last question about body. Yes, indeed, we have found a body with stab wound, and the gentleman met his death 2 days ago, Wednesday night, in some part of the bush on the Diaso Denchra Oboasi Road. And he had a very big stab wound at the lower part of the neck, precisely near the collarbone. And the body has been picked and sent to Dunkwa Ofe Mortuary. That is a murder case which we are also looking into. Yeah, somebody also asked about migration of the people, let's say the people deserting town, and therefore whether it's going to affect our investigation. Already we have made some significant gains because we have picked up 16 people whom we think are connected to the crime. We are still in the process of interviewing and interrogating them. Some were arrested outside the jurisdiction, and with this press briefing that we are giving today, I'm sure everybody, wherever you are going to be apprised of the situation, and you're also going to help us if you have any valuable information for us. They can run, but they cannot hide.
Yes, there was a question from a gentleman about how information is disseminated timely for the pressmen to get it, and so as not to report differently. Yes, that is very, very important, and I share your plight. Happily, we have designed a website where that is so interactive that journalists can quickly go there for information. It is going to be launched within 2 weeks, and I'm sure that is going to alleviate some of these challenges that you've been facing. Thank you.
Which one? Protect.
Let me say that until this rather unfortunate situation arose, the troops were operating and there were no problems between them and the local community. It is important that wherever troops are deployed, that the local community must understand that they are there to serve their larger interests. It is our position that we ensure civil-military relations. An attack on any officer, be he police, immigration, prisons, military, is a breach of the law. And the law will deal with such a person. But for our own protection, we have our internal processes that we stick to and stick to rigidly. And we are going to do that. This is a one-off event which should not have happened if the civil community fully understood the role of security agencies. So the point here is that we do not expect such things to happen. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We have come to the end of this program. And it has been quite fruitful. The press conference has been addressed mainly by the Inspector General of Police, Mr. David Asantia Pietu, and he has been supported ably by the Chief of the Defense Staff, Lieutenant General Robert Boamakwa, the Director General CID, DCOP, Mr. Bright Odro. We have learned a lot of lessons here. We as media men have got to know that in times of crimes like this, it's not everything, especially when we are conducting investigations.
So that was live from the police headquarters, and you heard the IGP speaking, plus the Director General of Police giving us some updates. Just a way of recap, we're told that Captain Adam was deployed to Diaso, 15 kilometers away from Dencho Boise, where he met his untimely death. He was actually familiarizing himself with the area when he met his untimely death. And we're also told that the area has suffered a number of armed robbery activities, and the reason it's not far-fetched because it's a mining area, and objects including glasses, machetes, cement blocks and the likes were used to lynch this army captain. We're also told by the police not to lose confidence because the police has what it takes to unveil the truth and also bring perpetrators to book. And we're also told by the IGP that crime is being managed, the police is doing well, and he says it will get better. Those are some of the things we saw just right now from the police headquarters. But one assurance is key, that this issue will not die until the police gets to the root of the matter. And that's actually the assurance we're getting from the IGP. And in any event that the police does something short of this promise, it will bring dire implication on us. And that's how we wrap up for the Pulse. Trust us for all the details and all on the top issues shaping up for the day. And for more news, you can join us on myjoyonline.com. That's where you can get details of all our news. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Many thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.